Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone's having a good week. There, I know there's probably a few people that are still logging in, but considering the updates that I want to provide everyone, I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'll definitely provide an opportunity for any questions or feedback that you all may have. So for this month's board meeting, there was quite a few updates, some very positive updates that we were able to present our trustees. As part of the president's report, I did inform the trustees that we've been very external as a college and engaging our community and our students. So I want to thank each and every one of you for the work that you do day to day and allowing us to facilitate that as a team. I know there's a lot of work that goes into planning meetings and events and on campus and making sure that we're very well represented, not only here on campus or through our service community, but also at each of our locations. So thank you all so much for all the work that you all do day to day and making sure that we're visible, that we're external, and that we're engaging with our communities. So just some quick updates. I'll run through some of those events just as highlights. We likely didn't capture all of them, but I want to make sure that we do share some of the events that we were able to host and facilitate for the college and for our communities this past month. So on March 24th, we held here at the Beeville campus the Women's History Month celebration, Diamonds of Distinction. I know we had several community members, specifically women leaders that are making substantial changes and impacts within our communities. So I want to thank Professor Wall. I want to thank also Trustee Flynn for providing your feedback and your perspectives and the work that you do day to day to service our students and our communities. It is appreciated, and you all should be very, very proud of the work that you all do day to day. The other update that I gave the trustees is we received a donation this month from ConocoPhillips in the amount of $1,000. Our good partner, Glenna Strauss, assisted us with providing that resource in order to update some of our safety equipment within our police department. So once again, our partners are seeing that we're very visible and engaged within our communities, and we're often just getting feedback where they'll, come onto campus and really just show their support. In this case, it's monetary, but oftentimes it's just really us having conversations with them on how we can support some of the work that they're doing, either within industry or within the community. So we're very thankful for all of the partners that we have across our service areas. On March 26th, we held a roundtable discussion on economic development at the Alice site. I want to thank all of the Alice team for assisting and facilitating that event. We did, Mayor Carrasco out of the city of Alice did pretty much facilitate that entire convening, and we discussed with regional partners the types of programs that we need specifically within the Alice location and how we can collaborate on resources to provide to our students and then pursuing an education, whether it's transportation, whether it's technology infrastructure, whether it's childcare. We came together and really had an open dialogue on what we need to do in order to move specifically that area, that region, and that site forward as it relates to our mission as a college. So a very productive event. And once again, it's just allowing us to really engage our community partners. On April 2nd, we had an egg hunt at Joe Hunter Field. I want to thank the athletics department and the leadership. Vinny, I know Melissa was a large part of that, and all of the employees that contributed to that event. There was a huge turnout. We had over 1,000 attendees, family members within not only the city of Beeville, but also the surrounding communities. It was a great turnout. I know it's an event that actually spurred a few days prior to us actually facilitating the event on April 2nd. But I think the turnout shows that our community wants to be on our campuses. And this is something definitely that we'll replicate in the upcoming year as we move forward with the types of events and the level of programming that we want to have across the college. So once again, thank you all so much for facilitating and putting that work together. It was really exciting just to see all of our community members out there. And I did get a chance to speak to a few of the parents, and they were very appreciative of the college having an event that was free of charge, that they weren't going to have to really spend a lot of money in this case in order for them to have something to do here within the city of Beeville. So definitely a great event, and I look forward to seeing these types of events more and more across our service district and across our locations as well. On April 1st, we held the launch of the CBC Promise program. We were very intentional about when we actually did the official communication release on April 2nd through our Facebook and those media channels. We just wanted to make sure that people didn't think it was an April Fool's joke. It's not. We actually launched the program, and it was a very successful launch. We were able to visit each of the CBC sites. So we did the tour. We started in Pleasanton, then we transitioned to Allen, Kingsville, and ultimately ended in Beeville later on through in that day. And it was very well attended. We have a lot of community support, both from the local ISDs, just community leadership, and most importantly, parents and the students. We had that day. At our first event, we had a few students that actually had applied. That as of yesterday, we have a total of over 80 students that have submitted an application to be part of the Promise program. Those of you that are not familiar or have not been able to review the information regarding the eligibility for the Promise program, I would encourage you to visit the CBC website, the Coastal Bend Promise program. There is an actual website online through our CBC site that has the requirements in order to be eligible, some of the things that students must do in order to review that eligibility. And there's a short intake form that students can submit to submit their information. And then one of our staff members from enrollment management will be in communication with them to guide them through whatever else is needed as part of that process. So we're very excited about this initiative. The next part that the team and the college as a whole has in order to make sure that that program is successful long-term moving forward is really beginning to engage our local communities to fundraise to sustain that program long-term. So you'll begin to see us even more within our communities and engaging our philanthropic partners and really making sure that we're putting the energy and intentional effort to make sure that we can carry that initiative forward long-term. The next initiative, which I'm really excited about and I'm excited to share as part of this meeting, we were actually invited to a regional convening April 17th, which was last Friday at A&M Kingsville. The administration and executive leadership from each of the colleges and universities, which were A&M Kingsville, Del Mar College and Laredo College and Coastal Bend College, all met to discuss a regional collaborative with respect to the Caring Campus framework. As part of that convening, I'm happy to share that we were invited to participate in the Caring Campus regional initiative. Typically, institutions of higher education have to invest $100,000 a year to become part of the framework, which provides coaching. It provides the framework and model. But as part of this invitation and some grant funding that A&M Kingsville has secured, we've been invited to participate over the next 3 years free of charge. So we, as an institution, will not have to invest. And I'm really excited for us to undertake the Caring Campus framework and institutionalizing that for our students. We will begin that process over the summer for staff, which with what I mean by that is just the training and undertaking the model and making some institutional adjustments with respect to terminology that we use on campus. And we'll share more details as we get further along in this project. So, for example, one of the things that we discuss during actual meeting sessions is oftentimes within higher education, and this is more specific to faculty, but I think we would all understand the importance of the terminology shift is the terminology of office hours. So within the Caring Campus framework, the shift, right, the model is transitioning that terminology to student support hours. And the logic behind that is oftentimes students are intimidated when they see office hours posted. They assume that that is the time that faculty are grading or not to be interrupted because they're working on things that are related to the coursework that they're facilitating. So there are minor changes that come with the model. There's other things that are more applicable to the institution as a whole. For example, all employees wearing name tags across the campus. So when students visit Coastal Bend College, they know that that's a representative that can help and support them. And it's not just someone that's walking by them that they haven't formed a relationship or a bond with. So it's some good best practices that are being used. But more importantly, once again, I'm excited that we're able to partner and be part of this framework at no charge, with no real long-term investment on behalf of the college with respect to funds and finances. So more to come on that. We'll be sharing that as we roll out that initiative with our liaison from the Caring Campus program, and I'm excited about that project. On April 18th, we did have some very good representation at the Rotary Club Tablescape sponsorship. So that is an event that is held locally here in Beeville. I know the focus was, believe it was Coco, the movie, and I know we did actually provide some sneak peeks with regards to our mariachi program that is up and coming and being built for the fall semester. So once again, I just want to thank all of you all that take the time to assist us and support us and making sure that we're visible throughout our communities. It does go a long way. The feedback that I've gotten from not only the trustees, but just the community as a whole, is that they can really see the college now, that we're present, and they're happy to engage with us as we move forward on any initiatives that we may have that support our students, our faculty, and our staff. The next item that I shared with the trustees was the mission moment for this month. I was very excited to share this mission moment for this month, particularly because it's the first time that we actually acknowledge one of our faculty members, or I should say one of our instructional support members. With respect to this mission moment for this month, we did recognize Armando Ramirez. It was yesterday's board meeting. We were able to share with the trustees basically the reason why we were submitting the nomination for him to be part of the mission moment is earlier this semester. Some of you may already know this, but we had an automotive instructor took another job opportunity at another college. This was literally about 2 days before the semester had started, and we already had students in those automotive courses. We were trying to figure out how to, adapt to those circumstances. Having any luck in identifying or expediting, finding someone to facilitate that class. We did reach out to our and, in a beat, he said, I'll be there. The students have the support that they need. We want to make sure that the students complete and that they graduate. And he is a local business owner. He didn't have to do that for the college, but I think it just goes to speak to the level and the caliber of faculty that we have at this institution that go out of their way to make sure that our students are successful as they undertake our academic course offerings. So this is a huge, just kudos to Armando specifically for this mission moment for this month, but an even bigger kudos to all of our faculty at CBC who really make sure that our students are supported and have what they need in order to be successful as they pursue their education here at the college. So thank you, faculty, so much for everything that you do for our students and for our college. And for this institution and for our communities, more importantly. The other items that I had for this month's board agenda is it was heavy on reports. Really, that's really what took the most time out of this month's board meeting. We did provide the trustees a report on where we're at on our strategic plan development. I know we are in the final stages of producing or have produced a draft of what would be the strategic plan for the next 5 years. We gave the board a comprehensive report. I know VP Blydry is in this meeting. Blydry, if you want to chime in and just get a high-level overview of the strategic plan, that would be appreciated. If not, I can cover some of my notes to share with the college as a whole. And I know he was in some meetings earlier today, so I'll go ahead and cover just some of the notes that I provided. So at a very high level, our strategic plan for the upcoming 5 years, as you all will see, really integrates key performance indicators. We're measuring data and using that as a benchmark and as a basis for how we improve the outcomes for our students and the college as a whole. So, in summary, our strategic priority, one of the strategic priorities is access, belonging, and student affordability. I think that has been made evident in some of the work that we are doing as an institution with respect to the Open Education Resource Framework, the Promise Program Initiative, the Promise to Promise program initiatives with other institutions of higher education, which is basically a 2+2 promise framework. The student climate surveys that we're actually undertaking as well to make sure that we have data available and we can make data informed decisions is the why the KPIs of such are of such importance. The next strategic priority is student success and completion. Our KPIs for that is fall to fall retention, graduates with no more than 3 semester credit hours and access. So we want to make sure that we're properly advising our students and that we're identifying those early interventions to make sure that they're on the right track to completion is important for us. We want to make sure that they're able to graduate quickly and effectively. And if they're a higher level credential or degree, that they're doing that in a timely fashion and it's not impacting their financial aid or just their time to completion in general. The next strategic priority is teaching, learning, and academic excellence. What we're looking at with respect to KPIs in this area is average pass rate by modality, the average workforce completion rate, and then faculty professional development completion rates as well. Those of you that are on our campuses might have noticed a lot of recent changes that we're undertaking with respect to our facilities. We're being very intentional to evaluate to make sure that our faculty have the proper teaching spaces and that our students have the proper teaching. And so that will be a primary focus for us within the next, and also I would say over the next academic year, making sure that our students and our faculty have the resources that they need every time they step into an instructional setting and that they can correlate the quality of that setting to the types of programs that we offer and more importantly, quality of faculty that we have at CBC. So the next item is strategic priority number 4, workforce economic alignment of our academic programs. Some of the things that we'll be reviewing here with respect to the key performance indicators is the percent of credentials aligned to regional and state high demand occupations, the number of ISD partnerships that we have with respect to our dual credit programs, and the number of stackable credentials pathways. And there's some other KPIs that we'll be using as well. We're excited to share the completed strategic plan with the entire college community, which we will likely be doing or completing after our next month's board meeting. One of our focuses has been over the past couple of months has been to grow our academic course offerings within dual credit. Just as early as today, we signed an MOU with Coppers Cove that finally came to fruition after their board of trustees reviewed the agreement. So I want to thank Susie for facilitating a lot of that work and the dual credit team. That is going to be a huge partnership for us within the Austin area. So we're really looking to expand the online program offerings that we have and our footprint specifically for CBC communities. Give me a second, sorry. Okay. This time it came back on pretty quickly. So the last strategic priority is institutional effectiveness, stewardship, and sustainability. We are being very intentional about the technology resources that we have on campus and making sure that all of that is right sized for the institution. For example, some of the KPIs that we're monitoring under this strategic initiative is the percent of action plans that are being created making use of data, how accurate the data is, and the results from using that data and implementation of initiatives across the board, and year-over-year cost and savings. So just to give you all an example, I think the last time that I had met with the ILC, the Institutional Leadership Council, I shared with them that just over the first couple of months under presidency, we began reviewing technology contracts and we were able to save upwards of $300,000 in just making sure that our technology solutions were right sized and that we were purchasing the accurate amount of licenses and what we actually needed to facilitate the work of the college. And as of to date, I know we've had additional savings. I think Likely by the end of this year, we will be able to identify over 700,000 in cost savings with respect to technology services and equipment and resources. Um, and that has all just been part of evaluating data, usage trends, and really just meeting with the end user and saying, are we actually using the service? Do we need to continue using it? Is there another option that we have already available through other agreements that we can maybe modify or integrate to the need? And so it's really allowed us to open up some funds. And what we're doing with those resources, once again, realigning and making use of those funds to update the instructional settings, making sure that classrooms have the appropriate tables, chairs, equipment, laptops, computer screens, whatever that may be, because we are an institution of higher education. Learning is our primary foundation, so we want to make sure that students get the best experience anytime they step into one of our classrooms. So that's a high-level overview of our strategic plan. More to come with respect to that. Next, as far as yesterday's board meeting, we actually reviewed the compensation plan study that TASB recently completed for us. They did provide us with some models, and we'll be more than happy to share that TASB report with the college community as a whole. Part of our approach in making sure that everyone has the information that we're evaluating and assessing is just to be open and transparent with that information. I will share in summary that there's work that we need to do to make sure that the pay of not only faculty but also staff is in alignment to market, and we're being very intentional in how we approach that. We do plan to continue with a maintenance review every year until we can realign to where we need to be competitive from a pay standpoint. So more to come with respect to that as we finalize the compensation study with TASB and the Board of Trustees. Those final decisions with respect to cost of living adjustments and increases for this year will likely take place in August. So that is when we will likely finalize our budgets across the college with respect to operations and pay. So we'll be more than happy to provide just the final reporting and information that we have once the trustees have made a final decision or the administration has made a final recommendation to the trustees to act on. The next item that we presented on reports is on the FY 2027 budget. Our cabinet is currently in the process of scheduling dates to meet with all of the financial managers across the college to review their projected budgets for the upcoming year. We plan to finalize that process before May 15th. So over the next couple of weeks, both Tara, our CFO, and myself and the respective cabinet members will be meeting with all of the unit plan managers to discuss budgets, what your needs are within your units, and how we may align or realign some of the resources that we have at the college for next year. So just keep that in mind. I just wanted to share that, begin thinking about what you may need, both to facilitate your work, but most importantly to service our students. And those of you that are financial managers, I would encourage you to meet with your staff to see what they may be needing to undertake their work day to day and facilitate that more efficiently. The next item under new business, these were some high-level items that we presented for the trustees. Were consideration and possible action of engagement of our external auditor for fiscal year 2026. We are going to be using Whitley Penn as our external auditor for this year as part of our scheduled yearly audit. They assisted us very efficiently and effectively last year, so we want to make sure that we continue that partnership and that we can have a successful and timely audit review to present to our trustees for the upcoming fall semester. The next item is consideration and possible action of authorization for disposal of surplus, damaged furniture and equipment. We are in the process of actually updating some of the furniture within the dorms here at the Beeville campus. And as part of that process, we need to provide some relief space within our surplus inventory so we can move the furniture that is currently in the dorms as we basically bring new furniture as part of some of the upgrades and updates that we are making to those spaces for our students. The last item under new business was tabled yesterday. We will likely bring that to the trustees at the next month's board meeting. So that's just more of an FYI. It was a consideration and possible action to approve a facilities rental agreement update, but there was no action that was taken. We actually tabled that item at last night's board meeting. The other thing that I wanted to share with you were just respect to announcements that we have on some very important dates. I would highly encourage you all to participate and engage in a lot of the great ceremonies that we have that are up and coming. We have the Radiologic Technology Award ceremony that is being held at 6:30 p.m. on May 13th in the Gertrude R. Jones Auditorium. We have the nurse pinning ceremony that will be held at 10 a.m. May 14th in the Peter S. Marsick Physical Fitness Center. And then we have the Dental Hygiene Award ceremony that will be held at 6 p.m. May 14th in the Gertrude R. Jones Auditorium. Those of you, just as a quick reminder, we have graduation ceremonies that are being held 2 p.m. May 14th and 10 and 2 p.m. or 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. I should say, May 15th in the Peter S. Marsick Physical Fitness Center. And then just as a quick reminder, summer hours will begin May 18th and end August 7th. What that means is work hours will be from 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and the college will be closed on Fridays. The May regular board meeting is being held on Tuesday, May 19th at 5:30 p.m. here in the Sandy Dirks boardroom. And then just as a quick highlight and shout out, and I forgot to acknowledge just the teams that have been working on this specifically, our institutional effectiveness teams that have been really intentional about making sure that we're gaining recognition and visibility, I would say not only locally, but also statewide and nationally in the work that we're doing with respect to data governance and our strategic planning frameworks. We will be presenting at NISOD's 2026 annual conference on advancing community college student engagement. Actually the board chair, Mr. Sanchez, myself, and Braden Reed will be presenting from Transfer to Promise, and that's the framework behind the partnership that we have with South Texas College, which is the Cougar to Jaguars Rural Scholars. We're excited to present that framework because we really feel that it'll be a model that will likely be duplicated across the state, but I feel across the nation. And more importantly, we're also in the process of finalizing a very similar agreement with Del Mar College. And what that agreement would mean for our students is that we'd have an additional cohort of 15 students that would have access to a tuition-free bachelor's degree at Del Mar College. What that means in when you basically collaborate and coordinate both together, we have now or would have 30 associate degree graduate students from CBC would have access to a tuition-free bachelor's degree as part of these agreements. So our chip away at that and really collaborate with our regional partners to see how we can expand the opportunities that our students have, even at the four-year settings and offerings. So lastly, the one quick update that I wanted to provide is we were featured in the American Association of Community Colleges Community College Journal for the April and May edition. I would encourage you all, those of you that haven't had the opportunity to read that article. It really highlighted, once again, that Promise to Promise Rural Scholars Initiative, where we have our partnership with South Texas College. And once again, it's allowing the college to give us some regional visibility, national visibility, I should say, in the work that we're doing as a team. Some other information that I think is important to provide without oversharing is we have identified our inaugural mariachi director for CBC. That individual is scheduled to start July 1st. We're very excited about the caliber of this director and what they will bring to the institution and our students. We cannot share too much details right now with respect to that position, but as soon as we can, we'll be more than happy to communicate it across the college community. But just as an FYI, our inaugural mariachi director has been identified and has been offered the position and has accepted the position. The other item that I think is important to share is trying to make sure I don't forget anything, because I know we had a lot of items on the board agenda for yesterday. Okay. I think those were most of the items that I had on my notes to share with everyone. Not sure if anyone has any questions. Look at the Q&A. So for budgeting, we have traditionally obtained quotes for new furniture, for example, desks, chairs for students with the college working on this situation. What on this institution? What I'm sorry, do we still do this with our department budget plans? I would encourage it. However, we are as you mentioned, Professor, we are looking at this as an institution-wide initiative that we need to address. I know Dr. Jones has, along with our facilities teams, doing walkthroughs of all our instructional spaces across the college and even office spaces for faculty and staff. For us, it is important to make sure that, once again, that you all have proper working spaces, but also that our students have proper learning spaces. So you could include it, but it is something that we are beginning to look at more at an institutional level, and we'll begin being very intentional about resource planning with respect to furniture and equipment. Good question. Any other questions? Okay. It doesn't seem like any more questions. I do want to be mindful of everyone's time. Um, Once again, if there's any questions that you have that you maybe want to follow up on, please feel free to reach out to me, shoot me an email, and I'll be more than happy to connect with you on any discussion. All right. Thank you all. Have a great day.